today I thought I would draw on the theme of dogs. You don't have to have a dog to understand today's topic, and you don't have to like dogs to understand today's topic at all. But I'm just using them as a metaphor or an analogy about us humans. Because as you all know, quite often I record these on a dog walk. I'm not on a dog walk today, but I have got a friend of mine's dog staying with us. And it made me watch their behaviour, my dog and the new dog. They are mates, they are friends and know each other well and love playing and love hunting together and have a great time. But it is so funny to watch how jealous my little dog gets when I give the other one, her friend, any attention at all, any affection at all. They are so jealous of each other. And the special bond that I got with my dog is just, for me, it is so strong, it's so important. My dog before this one, who I lost at only the age of 7 because she was poorly, it was heartbreaking. It was very, very hard. She was a member of our family without a doubt, and losing her was proper grief. It was genuine mourning. I was genuinely stricken by how hard it was. For the whole family, we all went through a horrible, horrible time when we lost her. But we have Millie, who is a lovely family dog and loves us all, gives us all a lot of love. And the relationship that I have with her is incredible because we communicate. She knows everything I say. In fact, yesterday when the visiting dog was due, I told her in front of the family at breakfast, Luna's come in today, and my husband just laughed at me and said, she hasn't got a clue what you're saying. And I said, absolutely she does. And she did. She genuinely knew exactly what I was saying and what I was trying to communicate. Now, dogs can't speak. They don't have language. They don't have words. They can't speak the English language or the human language of any kind. And yet she and I do genuinely communicate. In fact, you can hear her in the background just having a huge drink now as I'm sat with her. She understands everything I say to her. She understands what everything means. She knows what I'm wearing. If I come down in the morning in my dressing gown, she barely opens an eyelid and definitely doesn't get out of her bed. If I come down in the morning in running gear or walking gear, she is like a bouncing ball. She's literally bouncing off the walls with excitement. If I come down in work clothes and high heel shoes, work shoes, she sulks and won't look at me because she knows she's going to get left behind. She knows when I'm sad. She knows when I'm cross. She knows when I'm happy. She looks at my face for me to smile. She knows if I smile, she'll turn around and come up to me wagging her tail. If I frown at her and I'm cross because she's not come back when I've called her or something like that, or won't get into the car when she's been asked, she carries on hunting. She knows exactly that. So what I'm trying to say here is she and I communicate. I equally know what she needs. I knew she had an ear infection. She couldn't tell me she had an ear infection. I knew there was something wrong and I worked it out. I knew when my other dog previously was very poorly. I didn't know she had cancer, but I knew something was wrong, even though she was only six and a half. You just know them, you communicate. And the story that I'm trying to say here is that we communicate all the time. We are never not communicating. Even if we don't open our mouth and say any words, we are communicating. You are communicating to the world all the time. Through body language, through your facial expressions, through your eye contact or lack of eye contact or poor body language, stooped shoulders, looking down, avoiding eye contact, speaks a lot to the world. It says a lot of how you see yourself, how you portray yourself. Shoulders back, hips forward, nice stand tall, look up at the world, have eye contact and lots of smiles, equally oozes a different story to the world. And it was funny actually because yesterday I was coaching a client on his confidence. He's taken lots of knocks to his confidence and he's struggling a little bit in life, to be honest. But he's making progress. And our session before, I reflected back to him how different he looks when he smiles. He's got a cracking smile. Absolutely, his face transforms, as does all of ours really, we look so much warmer, so much friendlier, so much more confident when we smile. And the session before last, he had done that a couple of times. And I reflected back to him how different he looked, how much more confident he looked. And so together we set the task that in between the two sessions, he would go out there, as most of the work is done between the sessions, not during, it's in the real world. He would go out there and smile as much as he could. Even if it was a false smile, even if it was an effort, he would make himself smile to the world and just see what happened. So that was his actions or his homework, for want of a better phrase. And he came back yesterday and he was just bowled over at how it felt. He'd got loads of responses. People had smiled back at him. It felt awkward and uncomfortable at first and alien, but actually quite quickly he enjoyed it. He saw the benefits. He started to then chat a little bit. So the person in the petrol station serving him, he would just add in a one-liner about the weather or how busy it was or something like that. He smiled at somebody on his dog walk and they stopped and chatted to him and he had a proper conversation with him, and he's building up his social confidence muscle, and this really, really helped him. But what I loved was the phrase that he said, he said, I got it the wrong way around. I always believed that a smile should be saved for a special occasion. You know, a smile should be when you feel happy. You should smile. And he said it was a little bit like a really special vase, a very posh, your favourite special vase you would keep in a secure box, you know, a padded box, wrapped up nicely in a drawer somewhere, and only bring it out for special occasions. But he said, I realised it's not that way. You should have the vase out there on show for everybody and enjoy it fully instead of have it in a cupboard tucked away. And I said to him that was absolutely right, and that we get it the wrong way around sometimes. We think we've got to wait to feel happy and then smile. But actually the irony is it comes the other way around. If you smile, you bring happiness, you find happiness. So it's a chicken and egg thing, what comes first? So if we all smile much more, and actually there's so much more room for us to smile. When I'm coaching clients on their interview techniques ready for a job, and I'll throw dummy questions at them, mock interview questions, and give them feedback on their reply and their response and their communication and their confidence, body language, etc. Almost every single time in amongst that feedback, without doubt, there is generally the feedback of smile more. I know that when we're nervous, we frown a little bit, and that can get misread in interviews as cold and unfriendly and standoffish. It's not, it's nerves. But a smile can't be misperceived, or if we're at a party or a social event and we're nervous, we might not smile much because of our nerves. That gets misread as unfriendly, stay away from me vibes, or I don't want to talk to anybody vibes, or I don't like the look of you vibes, but actually it's stuff that's going on in our own heads. But if we make ourselves smile, people respond, they feel that you're warmer, you're more approachable, they're much more likely to talk to you at that social event, which helps your shyness, and you're on an upward spiral. If you smile in an interview, it's much easier for the interviewers. Don't forget it's a two-way thing, and if you're shy and awkward and uncomfortable, it's unpleasant for the people interviewing you. If you're talking to a customer that's shy, or you as the salesperson is shy, this can help all of us, whether we're parents. If we smile more, the first thing that we learn as a baby is to smile. It's the first thing. Is she smiling yet? Yes, she did her first smile today. It's lovely. It's a human need. It's universal that we can all smile across all the nations. It speaks volumes. So one thing from today's podcast is definitely smile more. You have nothing to lose by doing it, and absolutely everything to gain. Not just from others, but from how it makes you feel. How it makes you feel inside and outwardly to the world, and what it says to you. You also release lots of chemicals when you smile. And if you can up your game further and laugh, that's even better, because you release endorphins when you laugh. In fact, I actually said to the same client, Google laughter yoga. Laughter yoga is very, very therapeutic, very, very good for you. Very good for your breathing, very good for your health, very good for your stress management. It's all-round win-win. And at first, people report that it feels very fake. They have to force themselves to laugh, but only for a short while. Very quickly, it becomes genuine laughter, genuine, heartfelt, proper, full-blown, body-involved laughter. Now, who doesn't feel better after that? Laughter has been seen to help fight cancer, fight illnesses, improve health, improve stress. So we have nothing to lose. So I suggested that this client research laughter yoga. Or there's other ways of doing it. We can seek out comedy, can't we? We can look for books that make us laugh, comedy-based books, comedy-based TV programs, comedy-based quizzes, radio shows. Go to comedy stores, go and watch live comedians, watch comedy channels, films. We can go to, we can bring much more laughter into our lives. We can also, of course, go and see those friends that make us laugh. We've all got those friends with a great sense of humour, and for some reason we end up laughing much more with them than perhaps others who we talk much deeper with. We've got different levels of friendships. And that's okay. That's absolutely fine. We need that. We can't be the same thing to everybody. We get different things from everyone. But seek those people out and genuinely seek out and plan in laughter. And what I was saying to this particular client was, how much fun is there in your life? Often we work at work-life balance. That's the latest buzzword in business and commerce and all the personal development things is we've got to aim for a work-life balance. But what it doesn't often say is fun. Fun's got to be in there as well. Where is the fun in your life? I want you to actually think about that. How much, if you saw your life divided up into like a pie or a cake, how much is that cake portion of career and work? How much is it of healthy things, health pursuits, like thinking about your nutrition, thinking about your fitness, getting outside, getting some exercise, keeping active, maybe some yoga, maybe some meditation, maybe a long walk, maybe cycle ride or a run or a gym session or a class. So your fitness portion of your cake, your career portion or your work portion of your cake, finance and everything else, it's all divided up, isn't it? But how large is the portion of cake called fun? And I think there's probably room in all of our lives, or cake, to expand the fun. And what would that do for you? If you could improve the amount of fun you have, or increase the amount of fun you have per week by, say, 10%, how much better would life be then? What would that look like? What would it be? Would it be getting all your friends around and having I don't know, it could be a night in with a big chili, a few bottles of wine and a good board game, a good fun board game that makes you all laugh in teams, or playing cards in teams and having fun, and some, crisps and peanuts and stuff like that. It doesn't have to be costly. Or your fun might be abseiling or rock climbing or going to a museum or an art gallery, whatever your thing is. I do think for most of us there is massive room for more of it. When we get to that fateful day when we're 96 and we're ready to go and we look back over our lives, I do not believe we will think, I wish I did a bit more work. I wish I sent a few more emails. I wish I spent a little bit more time on social media and sent out some more posts. How much time do we waste posting on social media about our cup of coffee or our meal that we've just had, or where we're about to go, or, all of that trivia? That's not genuine fun. The fun is when you're actually present and involved. You're there playing a board game with all your mates and real belly laughter, or out with them and having proper deep conversations and proper connection with your friends, your loved ones, your family. It's not about posting on Facebook a photo of what you've done. That's you're not present when you're thinking about that. You're present when actually you forget all about that and you're just paying attention on what you're actually doing in the moment, in the now. Those are the things you'll remember when you get to that fateful day at 96. And those are the things we need to focus on and do more of. We've got to build them in. They've got to be planned in. They've got to be, planned, worked on, organised, initiated. That was something else that we were working on together in the session, because he had admitted, as he'd gone on a downward spiral, as is often the case, and you may or may not resonate with this, he had begun to withdraw socially, so he hadn't been seeing his old mates so much. He'd been staying in more. And so he realised that he'd lost touch for a while with a few of them. But we've got the perfect time now. You've got the perfect time now with Christmas to make contact with those friends. Perfect excuse to connect, wish them a Merry Christmas, send them a card or a Christmas message, and perhaps initiate something. Maybe a few Christmas drinks, or maybe get together for a mince pie and a cup of coffee in a coffee shop, or invite them round to you, or, as in this case, bake some Christmas little cakes or some mince pies, take them into the office and show some friendship. Actually, I found out yesterday, apparently yesterday was National, let me think about this, Kindfulness Day. National Kindfulness Day. I'd never heard of that word, so that's a new word. And the person that was telling me about that said that they were in a supermarket, a big supermarket, with a basket of food. And they were just getting to the checkout when someone tapped them on the shoulder. A complete stranger tapped them on the shoulder and said, "Excuse me, please could I pay for your shopping?" And as you can imagine, that person was totally taken aback. "I'm sorry? Well, please could I pay for your shopping? I'd like to treat you to your shopping. It's National Kindfulness Day and I'd like to be kindful." Isn't that lovely? We don't need National Kindfulness Day to do that. We can do that anyway. Those spontaneous acts of kindness, those are two-way, just like a smile, just like the relationship between dog and man. It's all two-way. It's not just about us giving to that dog, caring for them, giving them good food and good exercise. We get so much back. It's the same with smiling. It's the same with kindfulness, my new word. You can have that, you're welcome. Because when we give to people, there is no such, I do not believe there is rarely ever such a thing as a selfless act. Although don't get me wrong, although they are incredible acts of kindness that humans display, some more than others, and we see incredible acts of kindness sometimes, it is a two-way street, because that person gets something for it. They get a good feeling, a warm feeling. Whenever you're filling somebody else up through your acts of kindness, you're also filling yourself up with a good sense of being a kind soul, a good human being. When we put money into a charity box as we're walking past it, or donate, or when we're watching a charity show and we donate and send that text through or something. Yes, it is, don't get me wrong, it is for that charity, and it may be a charity that's very, very close to your heart, or you may have watched a story on there that's really affected you. And that's why they do it, of course. And so it's gone to a great cause, and what you've done is great. But it also makes you feel good. It also makes you feel worthwhile and increases your self-belief a little bit and your self-esteem a little bit. If we gave much more out, all of us could improve that, even those really charitable people and really, really phenomenal hearts and souls in the world. And there are some real angels in this world. Genuinely are. I remember when I was very ill in hospital, I remember saying then, oh my word, there are some true angels. That was the one thing I took away from that experience, was the genuine acts of kindness. Some of those nurses and carers were doing things for me that I have to confess, hand on heart, I would not have wanted to have done for other people. And they did it with, they maintained my dignity. They did not bat an eyelid. They did not make me feel awkward or uncomfortable. They carried on just chatting to me. They were genuine angels. Kindness, compassion, and I will never ever forget them. And that made me feel great. It inspired me to be kinder to other human beings and animals. So not only from today do I give the reminder, because we all need reminders and refreshers. I do too. Don't get me wrong, whenever I record one of these podcasts, I feel more inspired afterwards because it reminds me I'm talking to my own subconscious too as I'm talking to you. So it's all work in progress for each and every one of us, and we all need those little reminders. So it would be smile more, laugh more, and have much more fun. Life is incredibly short. I don't know if I said this in a previous podcast, but I did hear this recently where somebody said, oh, come on, you only live once. And then somebody else said, no, you don't. You only die once. You live every day until that day. And we have to live every day, and that's got to be packed with more fun. Not just more chores, not just more to-do lists, not just more minutiae and, routine and tedium that we've all got that in our lives, but we need to seek out and organise and plan more fun. And we need to give more, because that actually can be fun, and it can be very fulfilling and very rewarding. So if you do nothing else in between now and the next episode, especially as it's Christmas coming, especially as it's the perfect time to give and not feel awkward about it. And I don't mean give as in wrap up an expensive present. It does not have to be financially based. It can be an act of kindness. It could be invite somebody close to you who's by themselves at Christmas, who don't, elderly, alone, who don't have family or friends around. Invite them round for Christmas Eve, even if you've got a house full on Christmas Day and there is no more room for anybody else. Invite them for Christmas Eve for mince pies or something like that. Just an act of kindness, or bake them a cake or something and take it round in a card or something. Just make sure they're all right. It can be kindness like that. Or any act of kindness. You don't even need to know that person. It can be a stranger, like the person in the supermarket yesterday. Because the impact of that, it made their day. I don't know whether they took the payment or not, but it was genuinely meant, and a genuine act of kindness. Whether they accepted it or not is a different matter. However, that has spread already, because that person told their friend told all of us in the yoga class last night. I'm now telling you on the podcast. You may then go off and tell somebody else. And it's a ripple effect, isn't it? It spreads. And it's nice that positivity is spreading, because we have so much doom and gloom spreading at the moment in the news and the media and everything. And it's all negative and draining. We need to spread all these sorts of upbeat, uplifting, positive messages. We need more of them, because they're a good antidote to the negativity that's going on. So that was this week's episode. Take advantage of the fact that it's Christmas time and the festive times are coming up. Reignite old friendships, extend out some invites, initiate contact. I've said it before, we all need contact. We need deep contact, regular contact. And if it's not with your cat or your dog, and I do highly recommend that. There was a phrase that I saw yesterday, having a dog is not your whole life, but it makes your life whole. And it's true. If we've got something it's true. If we have a dog or a cat or a pet, if we're lonely and by ourselves and single or the elderly or something like that, it can give us something to love and care for, and a purpose. Equally, we've got friends and family and colleagues and things like that who are in need just of contact, just of kindness. So it's that time of year where it's not a great time of year for everybody. By far, I have a lot of clients, it's a bad time of year for them. It highlights all of their struggles that they've got, it just feels even worse over Christmas, particularly if they're by themselves. There's a lot of expectation around Christmas, and there is a lot of upset and disappointment. Divorce rate in January, solicitors are busier in January than any other time because people have been forced together over Christmas. That often throughout the rest of the 11 months in the year they can negotiate and keep away from each other, but they're forced together and it brings things to a head. I believe domestic violence and all of those sorts of crimes go up as well within families over Christmas time. We're forced together sometimes, or we may be by ourselves sometimes. So even though you may have a lovely, lovely Christmas, very sociable, very happy, it's not the same for everyone. And maybe that's a time where we can extend out and look after those people, look out for them, look after them, just check in on them. And, if you do say to a colleague, how was your Christmas? Who's it? Yeah, good. Just take that a second to look properly at them and say, really? Was it? Tell me all about it. And just dig that little bit more. Don't take it on the surface, because they could have been alone all over the Christmas time and be very low. So look out for everybody, look after everybody, care for them, and you will get so much back as well. They benefit, you benefit. It's a win-win, two-way street, and that's a great situation. Everybody benefits as a result. Smile more, have loads more fun, and as a result, your mental health will be so much better. Those around you will too, because they'll learn and take inspiration from you, spread it. The positivity is the antidote to all of the negativity that's going on, and just use this festive time to reignite old friendships. That's the podcast for today. Thank you very much for listening to me. I am aware that you could choose many other podcasts. I'm truly grateful that you've chosen this one. If you have enjoyed it, then please pass it on, share it, or tell others about it, because they may well get the same benefits or more, or may be in more of need of some kind of positivity and inspiration. So share it on your social media. Rate and review if you like, because that means it helps others find it by accident, other people that you don't know. There we are. There could be an act of kindness. Hadn't thought of that. Also email me if you would like any topics covered, or you want to share anything with me. dawn@milestone-coaching.co.uk. Check out the website www.milestone-coaching.co.uk, where right now there are life coaching gift vouchers on offer with 10% discount that you can purchase if you're looking to do some Christmas shopping. For either yourself or for a loved one, it entitles you at the reduced rate, you or the receiver, to 2 1-hour life coaching sessions, either face-to-face if they're local, or via FaceTime, Skype, telephone, all of those sorts of technologies. So it can be anywhere. They can be based geographically anywhere. There are also some online learning programs for sale there that I have done. One shorter one on time management. So if you've got somebody in your life who's really struggling, chaotic and disorganized, and it's actually impacting on them, on their productivity, on their well-being, on everything, because poor time management really can drag people down, and you feel it would be helpful because there's loads in there to sort their time management and overcome procrastination and organisational skills. If you feel that would be helpful to a loved one or to a team member, if you're a leader or a manager, then it's there for sale. There's also a much, much longer, much more in-depth full 7-module program on stress management. So if you equally are worried about a team member, colleague, friend or loved one with their stress, maybe they're off on long-term stress or something like that, or you fearful that they could be and they're really struggling at the moment, then there is an in-depth stress management online program that they can do at their own pace, bit by bit, at home or at work, and get huge amount of techniques that they can use there. Enough of this now. I will wish you well for the rest of the week, a very confident and a very upbeat and a very giving week, and see what comes back as a result, and see how much better you feel after that week. Take care, have a good one, and I'll speak on the next episode of Life Coaching on the Move.